The funny part is that he had to strip down to his underwear and walk.
He had to go there in his underwear?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody, I'm Chris Dinnell with the Dinnell Real Estate Group, Richmond's Community Realtors, and here we are on episode 8 of Amazing Richmondites. And today, boy, do we ever have an amazing Richmondite for you. Today we have Jason Davidson, and Jason was born and raised in Richmond, growing up in the South Arm area, and attended school at Bridge and McRoberts, and graduating from McNair in 1990. Just surprising to me because he doesn't look a day over 25. He continues to live in the South Arm area with his wife of 24 years, Barb, and his 2 beautiful children. Jason currently owns and operates 2 M&M food market locations here in Richmond and 1 in North Delta. And a piece of trivia about Jason and his family is that his father, Rob, was asked to take the demands of a hijacker to an airplane at YVR back in 1972 when Jason was only 2 weeks old. Now, this is the only time YVR has ever been involved in a hijacking incident, and his mom only knew about the incident when she was called by a reporter to ask if she had any questions. Jason, I got to ask you, you got to go into this. What happened?
Crazy. What happened is my dad at the time worked at YVR. He worked for United Airlines. A plane had come in to YVR. It had been hijacked and landed at YVR, and the hijacker had made some demands in terms of gold and food and all that kind of stuff. And they needed somebody to go out there and supply their demands. And the funny part is that he had to strip down to his underwear and walk.
He had to go there in his underwear?
Yeah, yeah. And so that was the demands of the hijacker. So stripped down to his underwear, walked across the tarmac, and gave whatever it is that they was required to give. And yeah, I was only, at the time I was 2 weeks old. And my mom said that really she had no idea what was going on. Of course, nobody called her, and until somebody from the Vancouver Sun had called and said, you know, we understand your husband's involved in meeting the ransom demands of a hijacker. What are your thoughts? And she's like, well, what are you talking about? And so, you know, she's sitting at home taking care of me, and you know, her husband and the new father is walking across the tarmac in his underwear.
Well, that is a crazy story and a great story. So far in Richmond, the Amazing Richmondites, that's got to be the #1 story thus far.
Is it? And you waited till number 8 to feature? Like, come on.
Well, it's pretty funny. So, Jason, a lot of our city knows who you are, but tell something interesting about yourself that people don't know, and it can't be about hijacking.
No, it can't be. Okay, well, yeah. I think one of the interesting things that I participate is I'm a bit of an amateur beekeeper. And so I have 2 hives in my backyard that I care for. And right now they're in semi-hibernation. Bees, you know, they live year long. So the bees that I have in my hive are winter bees. So their own main responsibility right now is basically keep the queen alive, so that once spring hits, you know, early March, mid-March, the hive can, you know, start producing eggs and go about their business, making honey and doing their thing and pollinating flowers. So I've been doing that for a couple of years now, and quite a fascinating hobby, and it's really enjoyable. And sometimes I just find myself sitting in the backyard and just staring at the bees going in and out, doing their thing. And it's quite amazing to watch them and learn more and more about them.
Now, how did you ever get involved with bees? That's like just, you know, I know a lot of people are scared of them. You know, I'm sitting in my backyard, a bee comes, I'm like, oh no, right? How do you get involved in doing something like that? Are you just like honey?
You know, honestly, it was probably a couple years ago, and You know, I saw a news story on TV regarding, you know, the bees and pollination and the declining numbers and the effects of pesticides and things on bees. And I started doing a little bit of research, and I went to a couple meetings at the Richmond Nature Park with the Beekeepers Club. And I got hooked and went to the store and bought myself all the supplies and bought myself what's called a nuke. It's a nucleus of a hive. So, you know, it would be a box of about a couple thousand bees and a queen, a laying queen. And it just went from there. And so the first year I just kind of let it do its thing because I didn't really quite know what I was doing other than the fact that I had bees in my backyard. And then as I got more, that last year or 2 years ago, I started harvesting some of the honey. And then last year, not only was I harvesting the honey, I started harvesting the beeswax and making lip balm and just handing that out to friends and family. So
that's why your lips always look so good.
Yeah, so luscious. Yeah.
I'm sure Barb is really happy about that.
Yeah, well, Barb's not too happy when she gets stung, and so.
So do you guys get stung often? Is that part of the game?
No, not really. She just had an unfortunate situation where we were moving some frames over, and she got a little close, and I was wearing of course, I was wearing the beekeeper.
You didn't give it to your wife?
Well, I didn't expect her to come so close, but so she got a bee caught in her hair, and you know what happened? People panic when the bee gets, you know, the bees. The stinging is a defense mechanism, right? A bee doesn't want to sting you because it's basically a kamikaze scenario. You know, the bee, once it stings you, it dies. And so bees, their natural is to not sting you. But you know, it got caught in her hair and just trying to get out, and she was kind of panicking, and it actually just stung her in the head. So
oh no,
she was a little disappointed and decided that it's all yours, kid. You you enjoy your bees. I'm gonna stand back. So
yeah. She's inside while you're out there working on the bees.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. But she really enjoyed this year when we started doing the lip balm, and you know, we got a lot of honey this year, and so we gave that away to friends. So yeah,
oh, that's great. And you guys have some great hobbies, which is amazing. Yeah. But I got to ask you, you know, you guys are consistently giving back to the community. What have you done over the past year during COVID to give back?
Well, one of the main things we did last year, or just, you know, in June of last year, once kind of COVID had hit, we were fortunate enough that our business really skyrocketed, and Barb and I were really aware of why that happened. You know, we were honest with ourselves. You know, people didn't start coming into our store because all of a sudden, you know, they loved our food and they, you know, it was the best. People started coming into our store because of the decline of the restaurant business, and people were eating in more. At that time, I think restaurants were even closed. And so people were coming into our store, and we were seeing also a lot of people were coming in because of the setup we had and the safety precautions and the cleanliness and the inventory we were able to maintain. Versus, as you know, you'd go to a few stores, grocery stores in Richmond at that time, and you know, complete aisles were bare, and so people were coming to us, and of course, you know, that meant profits, and so we started thinking about, you know, we felt a little bit bad about, you know, the situation and the fact that we were profiting off of a pandemic, and also on the backs of other small businesses in the community. And we also realized that we canceled a popular fundraising event that we have every year, which is our Charity Barbecue Day, which is an event where we have a charity, and we grill the burgers in the parking lot, and we have specials in the store, and all the profits from the barbecue go to a specific charity. That had to be canceled this year, of course. So we thought, well, how else can we do this? So what we decided is that we would have a charity week, in that we picked 6 charities, all Richmond based, and we gave the charities the opportunity to promote the day that they were given. amongst their supporters. We also promoted it online and via our own customer base. And customers could come and shop on that day that their charity was featured. And we committed 100% of the profits from that specific day's sales to that charity. So really all they had to do was tell their customers to come, or not their customers, but their supporters, to come into the store and shop at the store, and with the realization that, you know, there was really nothing in it profit-wise for us, but 100% of the profit back to the charities. And it was amazing. I couldn't, like, the uptake for that and the support of each individual charity was amazing. I think after all said and done, Richmond alone, of my 2 stores, I think we donated about $4,800
Wow.
to different charities within Richmond. And between the 2 stores, we gave just over $8,000 to a total of 9 charities between Richmond and North Delta. So that's one of the main things we did. And then we've also been supporting families that have struggled due to COVID, in terms of, you know, family members being lost. I remember right in the very first couple weeks of COVID, a local Richmond family had lost the father. I think it was one of Richmond's first deaths. And Barb and I felt it was a priority to make sure that the last thing the family wanted to worry about is, you know, what was for dinner at night. And so we basically had the family come in and we said, listen, pick whatever you want, just, you know, no limit, take what you think you need. And we just gave them free reign to the freezer, and they took what they needed. And we just felt good knowing that even if the days were bad, or there was a bit of a struggle going on that day, or, you know, they weren't feeling great, they knew that they could just open up the freezer and pull something out, and that, at least that part of the day, was taken care of. So.
Wow, that is great. So yeah, you guys are definitely doing amazing things in this community. I got to ask you, why have you been such a strong supporter to the community?
Well, I was born and raised here, right? So I've been here for 48 years, and I've seen the community grow. And I think it's our responsibility to kind of give back and help the community prosper. We wouldn't be in business if it wasn't for support of the community. Yeah. And so, you know, it would be irresponsible of us not to look at what's going on and just hide our heads and say, you know, not my problem. But in reality, we feel very strongly that small businesses like ours, especially those of us that have benefited from what's going on, it's important that we give back and just help strengthen the community, make people feel like they're more secure and a little bit less to worry about.
Well, that is absolutely amazing. As I say it one more time, and I'll probably say it a few more times. It's one of my favorite words. That's why it's called Amazing Richmondites. And, you know, we feel the same way. I was born and raised here myself, been here for 40 years. And, you know, giving back to this community is something that's dear to our hearts. And I know it's the same for you. And, you know, when we give back to our community, it creates more community. And I think you're doing some great things here. So how have you expanded as a business owner during COVID? You know, we've had to innovate and do things differently. You know, what, you know, as a business owner in person, what have you had to do to expand and be better?
Well, business-wise, we renovated the store, and we looked at, it wasn't something we had to do. It was something that we would eventually have to do.
It looks great, by the way.
In a couple of years, yeah. And so what we did is we wanted to make it even more of a comfortable place for people to shop. So we committed to the reno. We committed to taking, you know, the counter out of the store. Gives people a little bit more space to walk around. It allows us to put stickers on the floor to maintain direction. It gives us a better opportunity to clean and give people a little bit more comfort knowing that when they come in the store, you know, they can see the limit of 5 people, which is a little bit less than what we're actually allowed, but we felt 5 was a good number for spacing. And so that was the main thing that we did. And then personally, I heard stories of people, they're struggling. And there's a lot of people that are having mental health issues, just struggling to get by day to day. We keep expecting and hoping that certain restrictions are lifted, but we're carrying on, and people are lacking that social interaction. And so I started looking at some of the things that I enjoy doing and some of the things that I feel I'm good at. And so I just recently enrolled in a coaching program to give myself a little bit more resources in terms of being a better business owner, a better employer, a better family man, and ultimately maybe to help some people that are struggling to get by, whether it's they've lost their job, maybe they're thinking about, there's an opportunity to go back to school and they're struggling with ideas. And so I just thought it was an opportunity for me to maybe add some personal development at the same time to build on things that I'm passionate about.
So you are a certified life coach now, is that right?
We're getting close. Yeah,
getting close.
Yeah, 1 month left in my 6-month program. It's actually been a pretty it's an incredible program, and it's been demanding, and I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned a lot about communicating. I've learned a lot about empathy and sympathy and understanding people's emotions. And so I'm using those as well in my own business to understand that people are having a tough time, and maybe if they're reacting in certain ways. And yes, we've heard all the stories about people maybe not treating retail employees the best way, and it's given me a better understanding that this isn't necessarily them. It's just it's been a bad day. Things aren't going their way. Something might be happening. And unfortunately, we're out of a pack of cabbage rolls, and that is the one trigger that has caused them to maybe lose it, so to speak.
And cabbage rolls.
Yeah, you never know, right? And so it's allowed me to step back a bit and not react maybe the way that I used to react, and maybe show a little bit more understanding of that really it's not about cabbage rolls. It's just about some other things that are going on, and maybe help divert attention to something or another opportunity or possibility. So,
well, good for you, Jason. That's great. And I think if you can build on your personal strengths and to help out others, it comes back to you tenfold. So good on you on that.
Yeah, thanks.
Now my last question for you, and I ask this every episode, in your own words, what does it mean to be a Richmondite?
To be a Richmondite is somebody who is supportive of the community, somebody who's passionate about what's going on around them, understands the resources that are available, in our great city. I've been fortunate to watch Richmond grow from this sleepy little farm town all the way into what really is a world-class city. And so it's important, to be a good Richmondite is somebody who's involved in their community and continues to ensure that the direction the city is taking is in a positive way. And so that's just supporting each other.
Great answer, my friend. Great answer. And I 100% agree with you. Giving back to this community is something that we absolutely believe in. Like it says on my screen here, our city, our home. Let's come together and make it a great community. And you're definitely doing that. So Jason, thank you so much for joining us on episode 6. And keep doing what you're doing. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck with your life coaching endeavor. And I hope the store continues to flourish. And we look forward to more things what you're doing in the community, giving back. And the city is super proud to have you. So thank you very much.
Well, right back at you, buddy. It's a pleasure working with you and knowing you, and you provide a great deal of motivation to continue to do what is being done, and so it makes it easier to do these things when you see others in the community also doing it, and so it really is like a domino effect. The
Yeah.
more people we see doing these things, more people we see stepping up to help each other when we're down, the easier it is to do. And it's a natural reaction. So right back at you. Thanks for everything
Thank
you
you.
guys are doing, you and Angela, great supporters of the community. Happy to be involved with what you're doing, and up onwards and upwards, and hopefully, we continue making Richmond a wonderful place to work and live.
Absolutely. 100% agree with you. So thank you again, Jason. Have yourself a great rest of your week. And we'll talk to you very soon, my friend. And I'll be in the
Okay.
store soon.
Have a great one.